Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Allotment Diaries. I hope you're doing well and thank you for joining me this week. It is Wednesday today and I've popped up to the allotment this afternoon to give the birds some more festive treats, and I've got a bird feeding station as well, which I'll go through in a second. The blue tits have been around and Sebastian of course has been around, so I'm hoping with all the extra food that I've put out I might attract a few more birds today. It's a little bit drizzly, quite overcast, but it seems to be relatively dry at the moment. So what I am going to do as well this afternoon is just to carry on doing what we started last week with the uncovering the cold frame structure, just to see what's behind there. Although I am a little bit dubious because the birds seem to be going in there quite a lot and I don't really want to disturb a kind of nesting area if I can help it, so I'm going to do a little bit more investigating on that front. But yeah, I think this afternoon I didn't really plan to do too much. I just wanted to come up, and I was more excited, to be honest with you, with bringing the festive treats for Sebastian and his friends. I found these suet bar things with berries in, and apparently it's a mince pie flavour. So with the suet Christmas tree bauble decorations I've got on there and these berry mince pie flavoured suet bars, I think they're well and truly, I hope, getting into the festive spirit. Yeah, so let me just show you what I've got on this bird feeder. So this is the hanging bird feeder station that I bought. I got it from, I think, Garden Wildlife Direct. I think it was about $11.99, something like that. It's quite tall. I wasn't expecting it to be so tall. It's got to be at least 7 foot. It's quite ridiculously tall, but it did come in pieces that you kind of put together, so the box wasn't too heavy and it wasn't too cumbersome. So let me just show you a little bit more detail of what we've got here. So we have a removable clear plastic water dish, which I was worrying a little bit because I haven't been able to give the birds much fresh water to drink. So this will come in handy for when it's a bit colder and I can kind of put more water in and just keep it from freezing if I can, just so that they've got a fresh water source. That kind of clipped on with a tightening screw, so it kind of lifts on and off. And then there is a removable seed tray as well with mesh in, so I've put some seed up here for them. And then the top part came with 4 large hanging hooks and a smaller one, so I've put a seed feeder which came with the pack as well on this one, and it also came with this suet cake cage as well, and it also came with a fat ball feeder and a peanut feeder. I don't have fat balls or peanuts at the moment, so I haven't put them out, but I'm looking to get some of those in the next few days. So when it's completely full of tasty treats, I think the birds are going to go absolutely mad on this. So yeah, it's a really nice purchase. I've kind of put it slightly off centre from the tree, the apple tree, towards the end of the fig tree section, just so they can they've got places to run back to if they feel that, you know, they need to get back into the tree quickly. But I'm really pleased with it actually. It's despite its large stature, it kind of blends in really nicely with the tree at the moment, so it's not going to be too obvious to other people, but I really like it. So I'm going to kind of grab the camera and put it on the tripod and see if I can catch any birds feeding from it. I'm going to have to end the vlog here, unfortunately. It's absolutely tipped it down with rain and it wasn't really forecast, so I didn't really come prepared for torrential rain. Luckily I've got my wellies, but everything else is kind of getting a bit wet and I don't want to get my camera wet. And also the factory thing behind is being incredibly noisy, so I find it a little bit difficult to film a lot this afternoon, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to leave it until Saturday. I did, however, get some footage, or at least I hope I have. I've got some photos of a tiny little bird that I've not seen before. It's got like a yellow bit on the top of its head, and a sort of like a yellowy underbelly, I think. It's really quite sweet, and I've never seen it before. It's really tiny. So I'm gonna look at my book when I get back home and try and find out what kind of bird it is, because it's definitely not one that I've seen up here before. It seems to be eating, like, it's in the tree at the moment, so I'm just looking at it. It seems to be eating like little things from the leaves, so I don't know if it's like a bird that eats parasites or something like that. Doesn't seem to be touching any of the seed feeders, but it's flitting around the tree. It's really quite hard to photograph, but it's one that I've never seen before. It's a really tiny little bird. Its wings are like really sort of flappy, almost like a hummingbird, but not a hummingbird. So I'm going to go and find out what that is, and then on Saturday I'm going to come back up and do what I was going to do today. So I will see you on Saturday. So as you can tell by the date, there's been a little bit of time between the beginning of the vlog and now. The weather's not been great, and I've had a few bits and pieces to do outside of the plot, so I wasn't able to come up when I wanted to, but we've come up today. It's incredibly cold and very windy, so I'm not sure how much filming I can do outside, or if the wind's going to be too much. So if it is windy and I do manage to do some filming, then I'll put subtitles on if it's too bad, obviously, to help you out. We didn't plan on doing too much today. I think we just want to work on the top section of the plot and clear some of the weeds up where I want to have the flower bed, and sort of work our way towards the side of where the cold frame is. And I think I'm gonna try and clear some more of the brambles and weeds and stuff around that structure, so we can get into it and just tidy up around the bottom of the apple tree, just so I've got a way of getting in there to pick up any of the fruit and that's fallen, or will fall next year when, you know, the autumn comes along. So we're not going to be doing too much this afternoon, but I think what we're going to do is going to be enough for now. We're still planning the raised bed section and how many we're going to have, and how high we're going to have them. So I think we're going to try and do some mapping of that this afternoon as well. And I think Parsnip the cat is back, so yeah, let's go and see what's going on. We've decided to carry on weeding the top section of the plot, so we're going to work on this far corner, which we've kind of forgotten about, really, because we've been so focused on the lower section of the plot, and clearing all that away. I think is probably a good idea for us to clear this top section as well, so we definitely know what we're working with on this side, because we haven't really been able to uncover much of the wooden sort of dividing bit, so we don't really know what's around there and what the soil is like. So I think this afternoon we're just going to try and clear this as much as we can, so we've got a good idea of what we're working with. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. If it's too windy, I'll put some subtitles down just to help you out. So I've just kind of gone around the side of the fig tree a bit and kind of cut back as much as possible without disturbing the bird kind of perching twigs and that. I just want to make sure that we've got a clear path along this direction so we can get to the cold frame without kind of walking around if we want to. So I might just do a few more little branchy bits down on the bottom there, so we've got access under the tree as well. But yeah, I'm happy with how that's turned out. I don't want to go too far back because obviously we would like to still have some of the fruit on the tree, and I'm aware that the birds kind of use it as a sort of perch and feeding ground and things like that, so I don't want to go too mad. But yeah, it's starting to come along nicely now. So little Parsnip the cat has come back and she's been very content this afternoon. I've given her some food and she's been on my lap, and now she is having lots of cuddles and scritches with Mr. Mindful Grower, and she seems to be enjoying herself. We don't know if she's a stray or if she just tries her luck with people, but yeah, she always seems to know when we're up here, and she's always meowing, and she never quite seems satisfied. But this afternoon she's been on our laps and been quite content. Haven't you, little Parsnip? Meow, she says. So Mr. Mindful Grower has made some quite good progress up on this top section of the plot. I think we're just going to finish off up into that corner and potentially leave it for today because it's getting a bit cold. So yeah, that's come along really nicely, and if we go around to the back, let's have a look what's going on over here. So I didn't do too much to the front of the cold frame yet. I forgot to bring my gloves and my hands are absolutely freezing, so I don't really want to be picking up a load of stuff without gloves, so I'm going to leave that bit for today. But I've cut back around here a little bit more. Like I said before, I didn't go too crazy because the birds are obviously using it for various different things, so I didn't want to go too mad. But you can definitely get in now into the apple tree and around on the other side, so when the fruit falls off in the summertime, then we'll be able to pick up any of the rotten fruit. So, oh look, who's here? Hello, Parsnip. Hello. She's been following me all afternoon and helping me with various bits and pieces, haven't you? Yeah. So that's me kind of done for the day. I'm just going to tidy up a few of the cut off branches and put them in the compost heap, but at least now we've got a slightly better area to work with. For the next time when we come up, we can start clearing all this off and then opening it up and getting rid of all the stuff inside. So yeah, a relatively productive afternoon. So I'm going to end the vlog here for this week. It's getting quite chilly and I'm freezing, so I think we're going to head home. But yeah, we haven't done too much this weekend, but we just wanted to tidy up that top section of the plot just to kind of get rid of all the weeds and start uncovering that area to see what we can actually work with. We were going to measure out the raised beds where we're going to put them in the size, but we forgot string and little pegs to put down to kind of mark it out, so that's a task for the next time we come up. Yeah, so a relatively quiet weekend, but we've made a bit of progress. That's not too bad. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode. If you do like it, then please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It would mean a lot to myself and Mr. Mindful Grower, and I will see you next time for episode 11. Bye.